Hey, hello, 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 and welcome to Black Woman Things. I am Tyra, and today we are going to be reviewing Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the movie. Okay, I feel like it's been out for I don't know what 2 weeks at this point. I feel like you should have seen it. Okay, like I'm one who, as soon as I see like, oh my gosh, no, this person did post a video. Let me get up in there. So okay, I'm posting a video. I want you to watch this. I wanted to give you some time to watch. Have you watched? If you have not watched, come back later unless you like spoilers because I'm gonna be like talking about the entire movie. So if you haven't seen it, listen. This is not gonna be spoiler free. Hey Jordan, you love the movie? Okay, we definitely gonna get into it. We're gonna talk to the whole movie. Okay, so I hope that you're ready. We're gonna roll this intro again. Then we're gonna get into so we are back, and so yes, we are talking about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Jordan said you loved it, you loved the cultural and the real life aspects of history. It was definitely a good movie. Like, so when it first starts, like, let's go back to the beginning. Like, when it first starts, okay, we see like Shirley looking around trying to frantically come up with a cure, like trying to recreate the herb so that way she can help the Black Panther. Like, he is ill of some serious illness that he didn't like share with anybody, and I thought that was very well done, that whole aspect, because okay, we all know that he had cancer and and it's like, okay, how do you not recast him but then also write him off in a way that's that feels respectful, right? Without being like, exploitative of the fact that, So I feel like them saying like, oh, it's a mysterious illness. He lived with it for a long time. He didn't tell anybody. I feel like, okay, this feels good in a way that, okay, I like, given what happened in real life, I can see how this makes sense. And even if I have no idea what happened to the actor, I think it still makes sense. And so they mourn him, they have a whole celebration of life, and then we get transported to a year later after this happens. So let's kind of just like stop there. So like I said, I just thought it was very well done. Okay, so boom, now it's a year later. I was like, a year later is kind of a lot, but I like where we went with this. So immediately we see mother, okay, like Angela just walking through, and then she said, I tell y'all, it be making noises in this place. But anyway, so Mother Angela, she walks through, okay, and it's all of the countries, like, the USA and like all the countries around the world or whatever. And they're all like, you need to share the resources of Wakanda. And she's like, oh no, y'all have been trying to rob us during the time that we, should be mourning. Like, we've been having to beef up security. Yes, absolutely, mother. So it's like, okay, why, are y'all like France? Like, she started calling everybody out and like, naming how they all like, tried to come and like ransack the facilities. And obviously we got, the army of beautiful women, okay, that are out here just like defending everything. And so even though all these different countries trying to steal the vibranium, like, listen, they're out here, okay, they like, really, like, everybody's like, so it was great, because right after she said that, they ended up like walking in, like, the Dora Milaje, they ended up walking in with the prisoners, like made them all like kneel or whatever, and they were like, stop looking for vibranium, like, y'all gonna destroy the whole world. This is like, it's not that we can't share with you, we're not sharing with you, y'all are wild. And they were just kind of like, yeah, okay, like, you know what I mean, like, you could tell like the government entity or whatever was not so. So then it'd be like, boo, boo, boo. Like, that's my fade. So like, it was a, okay, it was a fade, and they were transported into the middle of the ocean, okay. And so I got, you know what I mean, like some little, like, yeah, so that way I can like keep up with like everything that's happening, because like I said, I want to dissect and go and tell you like all my thoughts, like play by play, but quickly though, like, we're not doing every single second. But anyways, so we're transported to the ocean, okay, and there's this big ass boat or ship, I guess it's definitely a ship, and there's these like scientists and guards, and the whole point is that the guards are supposed to like, get and go down into the ocean because they're looking for vibranium, right? Like, that was the whole purpose. Like, before, Angel was like, y'all can't have it, and it was like, bet, we're going to the ocean. And so they got these two scientists that going down, and then these big ass suits, and it's like interesting, I guess. And so they're like going down, 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 down. They're like, wow, it's beautiful. And then they finally get down to the like ocean. They see their whole, what is it called, vibranium finding ship or whatever, and like everything seems to be going well. Then boom, one of the scientists disappear, and then boom, the other scientists disappear. And it's like their heartbeats are like gone, and then the people like up there on the ship or whatever are like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? Where are y'all at? It was like real climactic. There was music and everything. And so once we get back up to the top, they're like, okay, like, let's get out, let's look, because, they really can't find these people. And then all of a sudden, y'all, these blue people, they're like singing, like, like sirens in the ocean, like mermaids, like they're singing and it's hypnotizing everybody. And all the people are following the voice and just jumping down into the water. And so the two people that were like, overseeing everything, like, the head ops or whatever, like they were like seeing all their people jump into the water on the camera. Cause like obviously they had the camera on the people down at the bottom of the ocean. They disappeared. They're like, what the fuck? And then you get the people that are actually on the ship that are just jumping into the water. So they're about there like, yo, like this is wild. So they realize like, okay, like it's in their ears or whatever. And so they go and like, they're trying to help everybody. And then eventually one of the cops just like boom booms in the air and that kind of like broke their trance. But then the blue people were like hopping on the ship and whooping ass and essentially they didn't get away because the blue people were here, they were ready. But before, they got destroyed or whatever, one of the people was able to say like, they're blue people, like they're attacking us, like, and they thought it was like Wakandans or whatever. And so that's like how the movie begins. Okay. And so I was like, okay, this is like a lot. Like, okay, we just like grieved and then it was like the whole like quiet like of the Marvel, and like now we're just brought into like these blue people, like, and like I love psychological things. Like I got a whole BA in psychology. Like I thought it was so cool how they just kind of sing and like the melody. Like I was like, okay, this is wild. Like we're really 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 get into this movie. And so like I definitely enjoyed like the blue people. I was like, okay, I need to definitely, I don't know, like do some more research or something to like get into it with these blue people because they definitely, like I said, I've just never seen anything like that before. So then as the movie goes on, right, we see Siri. Obviously, this is a year later. All she's been doing is creating. Obviously, she's, grieving the fact that her brother is not here, but she's like a smart person. So what she do, she's in her lab. She's just building, trying to create, things. And as she's like creating, like her mother's trying to tell her, like, girl, you need to take some time. You need to grieve. Like your brother is gone. You've been up here like the whole time. Like, like you're deflecting. Like you have not processed, your grief. And so eventually Siri is like, you know what, like, okay, well, I guess not eventually. Her mother ends up like tricking her. So they end up like going out into the woods together, just her and her mom, and just, Angela and Siri, just sitting by the water. And her mom's like, listen, like, we got to like burn like your morning clothes. Like, we got to get through it. We got to get you through this. And like, while they're trying to have this bonding moment, like Namor, the fishman, okay, like comes out of the water and he's basically like, what's good? Like you got these Americans, or whoever, like you got these people from land that are trying to get our vibranium. Like you have vibranium too. Like look how you live. Look at your palace. Like why would you tell people about y'all? Like clearly we're secret. You ain't even know I existed. You know what I mean? Like you need to fix this. Whoever came up with this machine, kill them. Okay, and like let me know. Like, and if you're not gonna kill him, like I'm gonna kill him. Like, get him and bring him to me so I can kill him. Like, either way, like we need to stop everybody from trying to get this vibranium from us. Essentially, that's his whole plot, and he like disappears or whatever. And so, obviously, you already know our girls. They're not about to like kill a random scientist, especially when they find out she's like a 19-year-old MIT like Black woman scientist. Like, obviously, Black woman things, we're killing Black women over here. So that's the whole thing. They end up finding a scientist and they told him like, look, like we're not killing sis, like she's a young girl, whatever. He's like, okay, like basically you're not gonna like kill the scientist, you're not bringing me the scientist so I can kill her, like we're not eliminating the scientist, okay, bet. And they go ahead and like do some like old crazy stuff and like end up kidnapping Siri. Okay. And she's like down there with the scientists, like in Telecon or whatever. And they beat their ass like on flying whales and like just vibranium swords against each other and just pure like skill. And the blue people, like they're like very enhanced. So even if you get them, like you slice them up or whatever, it take them a minute, but then they recover and come up and start like, it's crazy. Yo, it's crazy. And like blue's my favorite color. Like it was just like cinematically beautiful. Like, so anyways. So Sirius like kidnapped, she down in the water or whatever. But remember they killed them scientists, so they had the suits, so she can like go around and see the city or whatever. And like Namor, like the fishman, he was like pretty nice. Like he was like, look, like I'm trying to burn down the whole world because they just don't understand. Like he's like they just don't understand. Like they need to leave us alone and just like do their own thing. But ultimately I want to just kill them all because they killed my mom. And then we get a whole like flashback of like Namor and like how like his mom was poor, she was pregnant, all his people that was getting ass whooped by the Spanish, okay? Or was it, yes, getting ass whooped. And so it was like, okay, how about you just take this herb that we found in the bottom of the sea that grows or like glows, and then y'all gonna be like free. So like, his mom drank it, like, his people, they drank it, and then they ended up like waking up like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually a fish, and they go into the water. And so once they go into the water, it's like their whole civilization has happened like, hundreds and hundreds of years ago or whatever. And so that's when Shuri finds out when they kidnap her ass on the bridge and take her down into the depths of the ocean. Okay. And so I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this is, bro, what? Like, what? Was I the only person that was confused? Because I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like when the last film ended, I definitely didn't see fish people like in mermaids and like them stealing the princess. Like, I don't know. In my mind, at least after the first movie and all of the crossover movies, I just felt like Wakanda, she's untouchable. Like, you're not what? Like, I understand that like Suri like left, Wakanda, but the fact that they were able to kidnap her like that was kind of crazy. Like, and then like anyways, so she's kidnapped, she goes down, she sees, how they live in, and she's like, it's not too bad. But then on the other side, obviously Angela's losing her mind, right? Because her kid is gone. And this is the thing, Shuri wasn't out without protection. She had the general with her. The general was left, but obviously Shuri was gone. And so Angela was like, you're fired, like straight up, like to the general, because why did you have them like steal my kid? Just like I said, I was like, how did they really just steal the princess of Wakanda? Like, I don't know. I feel like if you authorized person, you touch her, you should like go into flames. Like, I like I don't know. Like, is that too much? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like they're the most advanced civilization. Like, am I tripping? Like, please let me know. But I don't know. I just feel like it was like kind of like too easy. Like, I just feel like immediately people should be like, so like, I don't know. So they take her. And like I said, her mom is like, okay, we got to get her back. How do we get her back? And of course, who does she summon? Okay, our girl, Lupita Nyong'o. Apparently, sis been hanging out in Haiti being a teacher because, she ain't want no parts after the blip and all of that. She was just like, I'm just going to live my best life. Like, please. Like, yeah. And so Angela's like, listen, my daughter's gone. I need you to help me like find her. Like, I have nobody. Like, please, like, help me. And so Angela obviously is still like acting as king essentially, and she's just like, her entire family is gone. Like, she can't believe this has happened, and like, what the fuck? So Lupita goes and she ends up finding her. They end up shooting one of the like fishes that was like important to the fishman, and so they end up like going back up. It's like, oh my gosh, we're reunited. And then Namor like lost his mind because he's like, look, the only reason why, I didn't kill the whole world, because remember, I started this where he was like, if we just kill everybody on the surface, life would be great. Like, except for you, obviously, like Wakanda, because you're going to help us kill everybody on the surface. Like, that was his whole like game plan. It was weird because I just felt like that made no sense. And the only reason you're not going to kill the whole world is if you get to kill this scientist instead. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like a real weak point to do. So like, you've been alive for hundreds of years, and now in whatever year it is in the MCU, like, this is the time you want to pull up the word. Like, what? Bro, like what? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So obviously, like, Shuri's like, I can't help you do that or whatever. And essentially, she was going to stay down there for eternity. But obviously, Lupita got her out. So now she's out, and she broke the pact. And so what happens? Namor starts flooding that ass. Like, he goes to Wakanda. He's like, he's bringing the rain. Like I say, literally like floods like a lot of like places and kills a lot of people. And obviously, this like makes Shuri mad. But it makes her mad, yes, because her people are dead. But listen, like I said, this is a spoiler, John. Listen, y'all, they killed Mother. They killed Angela. Like, listen, when I say he flooded the peak, like he's like everywhere, bro, like including the palace. Like, they killed her. And with her dying, she was able to save like the scientist, and the scientist is Ironheart or Riri Williams or whatever. And like, I don't know if it's just me, but I was like, what? Not killing Angela. Like, what, bro? Like, what? Like, why did you do that? Like, I just feel like we just lost Chadwick at the beginning of this. Okay, like, that was enough. Like, how you gonna kill Mother too? Like, what? Like what? Like, what was the point? Okay, so you understand. Like, I don't like, you killed her for why? Like, you were just bored, sirs? Like, the men who wrote this movie? Like, I don't understand. So like, I was honestly mad, especially like I said, she died because he flooded the place, and Angela went and saved Ironheart or Rue Williams. Like, why? Like, I mean, I guess because, like, she's a queen, right? She wants to protect the children, but I was just like, yeah, all right. Like, I wasn't buying it. I wasn't buying it at all. So anyway, she's dead. And then, like, everybody comes in, everybody, like, the Dormelage, they come in and they like trying to resuscitate her, but it's like, okay, she's dead. And then obviously Suri like loses it. She's like, oh my gosh, like mother, she's dead. And it's like, obviously, just like, it's a whole emotional thing. And like I said, for me personally, I just felt like this was all for naught. Like, I feel like Suri would have become, like, I'm speaking head real quick here, but like, I feel like she would have become the Black Panther and defended her like Wakanda, regardless of if they killed Angela a lot. Like, I just feel like that, like, her dad's dead, her brother's dead, the mom, like, bro, what are y'all on? Like, what are y'all on? And even like in the first like movie, I definitely feel like Wakanda, the place was getting her ass, like, well, not even the place, but like Chadwick was getting his ass. Well, like, I don't, I just feel like they be beating up on Wakanda like for no reason, and I've got beef. And so, anyways, like I said, everybody is reunited, and then Angela dies. And now it's like, okay, what do we do? We have to declare war on the fish people because they've killed the queen. And so Suri, like I said, she's like, okay, I gotta become like the Black Panther because obviously everybody in my family's dead but me now. So literally, who's next? Like, Suri. Like, so she takes it, and like when she goes to the ancestral plane, who does she see? Not Chadwick, cringy because y'all already know. Not mom, because obviously she's mad. Her mom is like gentle, like she's like a good like person, pure of heart. She sees Killmonger. Killmonger is like, yeah, you want to burn the world? We're gonna burn the world, like, burn it down. And she's like, I'm nothing like you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just like, I just don't know what you mean. Like, we cannot burn down the world. This is crazy. And he's like, bro, like, this is the ancestral plane. Like, stop bullshit. Like, bro, like, obviously, if that's how you really felt, you wouldn't have seen me, but you saw me, so you clearly want to burn it down. It's like flames, like, all around her while she's there, or whatever. And she like wakes up like all shook from the ancestral plane. Cause like, T'Challa, like, he ended up seeing his dad, and then same thing for like Killmonger saw his dad. And like, but like hers was like Killmonger in the place where like all the or in the place where the courts are in Wakanda with the clay fort. It was like all just up in flames, thrown just like up in flames or whatever. So it was like, okay, like Suri like is on some other stuff. And I guess it's because, like I just said, they just kill her whole family for no reason. So obviously she's mad. But like, I don't know, like, it's such a drastic shift, and I personally don't know if the character progression was there for me personally, from Chadwick like death to her mom's like death to her being like kidnapped, and like now she's a Black Panther, and like she's out here like just wilding with the crazy skin. Like, I personally, I don't know if I feel like that was done the best. Like, I feel like, okay, this was a long ass movie, and I feel like there's some holes, bro. There were some holes in there. And so in that time too, like, so it became Black Panther. Like, Riri Williams like also got freed when Lupita came down there and like shot up the one fish person. Like, Riri was also there. She built herself a suit. Like, she's now like, a bulky version of like Iron Man, but like a female or whatever. And so now Suri just lost it. But now Suri is like, okay, I'm Black Panther, like, let's go. I'm whooping ass. She goes and like talks to her people, namely M'Baku, and he's like, you know what, like, we can't like kill these people because it's like we can't kill him anymore because that's gonna be like eternal war. His people see him as a god, he can fly, like, he's hundreds of years old, like, like, we need to like, come to a common understanding. And Siri's just like, no, like, we're kicking his ass. Like, what do you mean? Like, you just saw what happened. The queen is dead. Like, everybody's dead. And M'Baku was like, the queen wouldn't want that. Like, and she's like, I don't care. Like, the queen's dead. Everything the queen wanted is dead. Like, everybody's like, like, and so M'Baku was just kind of, and she's like, basically, you need to get on board because I'm Black Panther or whatever. So M'Baku was like, okay. And for me, that scene, I was just like, really? Like, Siri? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I see where they were going, but I just feel like they needed more. Like, it should have been stretched more. Like, that shift in character for me, I feel like I needed more time to be like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I feel it. I feel like it's just like boom, 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 and Yeah. So essentially, okay, she gotta beat his ass. But how he gonna like how's she gonna do that? Because Namor is apparently like the ocean Hulk and he's like super strong and da da da. I know this because I watched like follow-up videos like on this. It's just not y'all, I'm not reading the comics. I watch the videos of the people who read the comments and then they tell us the tea. So like knowing this about like the character, I'm like, okay. But in general, I'm like, Siri is a scientist. Like I'm not expecting her to be like out here on some like like she's I expect her to think of a way to be able to defeat him. I don't expect her to physically like what I mean, beat him. And that's essentially what she does. They essentially come up with this big ship, put it back in the water, get this like sonic thingy that like hurts the fish people's ears. They put that in the water, which drove everybody like up and out. And then essentially her warriors went against their warriors. And then she ended up fighting a more. She ended up getting him inside of a like big ass jet, and she had all these heaters in here, and then she took him to the desert, and essentially she had him inside of like a ship that was just like a heater, so that like weakened him a lot because like I said, he was strong as hell. So how is Siri gonna like beat him in any way? She put him in a heater. So once she put him in a heater, extract all the kind of like some of his powers. She also took him to the desert, and they were like fighting, and she almost died. I didn't go hold you, like she tried a lot, she almost died, but like luckily, okay, boom, she ended up being able to like get him to yield, and then they both are like, okay, we're gonna like work together, and like essentially that was the movie. Okay, because at the end of it, like they decide like, okay, we're gonna protect each other, and so it's like, okay, I'm not going to like tell anybody about your people essentially, and we're gonna protect each other. And I feel like that's kind of like the end of the movie. I guess the only other thing I didn't mention is like Riri goes back to MIT, but she has to leave like her gear, but she's smart, so she's gonna make new gear, in my opinion. The general, she fought in the last battle, so I'm just assuming she's reinstated now that Angela is like, no longer here, and she's the one who like fired her in the first place. I'm assuming she's gonna have her back on the team, okay, officially. And yeah, I feel like the only other thing is like the one like white like colonizer or whatever that the guy, he has a wife in this series, and she's like like she's the president of the CIA or something like that. I don't know. I felt like that was really weird and like unimportant, which is why I didn't really mention it, because it's like, who is his lady? Like y'all just bringing her up randomly. Like I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of fluff. I feel like his whole storyline was definitely fluff for me. I feel like the whole Riri Williams storyline was pretty fluff for me. Like yeah, I don't know. I feel like this movie was a movie to set up for all the other movies and TV shows that they want to do. Like it seemed like one big ass ad to me versus like one like movie. But I'm saying that as a person that like genuinely loves like Marvel, and like I said, I watch all the videos about the, like comics and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, but it's also like, okay, this is like a Black woman empowerment like movie. Like I see, like like I see what they were aiming for. I just can't say that I feel like it was well done. That's all I can say. But I feel like in terms of Chadwick, it was definitely well done. In terms of like the female empowerment, I feel like okay, like that's there. But I feel like that story for that, like this is like a Wakanda movie, a Black Panther movie. I feel like that story, I feel like it was secondary, and it was just kind of like a lot of secondary like little movies and time, what I mean, like that's supposed to make up like this one movie. But ultimately I did enjoy it. I'm happy to see Killmonger. I'm happy to see Shuri as like the Black Panther. At the very end of the movie, we find out that T'Challa has a baby with Lupita, which was also like, yeah, all right, bro, because like they try to say like, okay, T'Challa is one of those guys that's like, anti-tradition or whatever. So like, he's not necessarily gonna, follow like all the customs and stuff. Like it's not what he would have wanted. Like that's what they want us to say. I'm just like, I don't need him to say that. Like, because like what? Like you're just trying to tell me like he wouldn't care. Like, I don't know. I feel like he would care and would just do it in a way that it's like low key. Like if he's gonna propose, maybe it's just like his mom and his sister there. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like they told us a lot of stuff, and I don't feel like they showed us a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And also, like I said, I feel like they were just setting up for future stuff versus like being in the here and now, which kind of like irked me a lot. But otherwise, like I felt like it was a really good movie. So make sure to like this video and share this video with somebody who you think maybe have seen this movie and want to get like a little review or whatever, and hear my thoughts on the movie. Okay, and then comment down below what was your favorite parts. Like I say, ultimately, like what do you think? And until next time, make sure you click on any of the videos on the screen because they're all great too.